Welcome to another edition of Mark's Inspiration. Got the D-Man here, and I am glad you could join me today as always. Today's topic is going to be men. What it is to be a man, or at least what it used to be like to be a man. It seems to me that masculinity is getting a bad rap in the U.S., like there's something wrong with being a masculine man. Now, if you choose not to be a masculine man, that's fine. But for us who want to be masculine men, just let us be what we choose to be. Don't shame us. There's nothing wrong with being masculine. Let me tell you something about being masculine. If it wasn't for the masculine men who are the great adventurers, the great warriors, the great explorers, the great inventors, the great mathematicians, I could go on and on. Now, that's not to say there were never any women who did any of these things, but the majority, 99.5 or 9%, are men who excel in these fields. We'll call them fields. For example, the great explorers of old on the ships that sailed out into the unknown world and had the fear of falling off the flat earth were men. How many women do you think were on those ships? I don't know if there were any women on those ships. Probably none. Men went off to war for years. They didn't have women with them. The women stayed home and took care of the kids. Now, as men, sometimes we think we can't be away from the family for a week or 3 or 4 days. I have a job, but I don't want to be away from the family. Well, it's good for us to be away from the family. The woman will appreciate you. If she loves you and you're controlling the frame, not controlling the person, controlling the frame of the relationship, she will be loyal to you until her dying day, until you come back, no matter how long you are gone. But if you're not being a man, not showing up as a dominant man, not domineering, but a dominant man who is the leader, she will run out on you with the first guy that comes along. But guess what? She'll do that even if you're home every night. You may come home one night and she'll have an ex parte against you because she wants to bring Chad, I can't use the word. It's an expression some of the Rule Zero guys use. Okay, she'll bring in the bad boy. We'll say it that way. And have you kicked out? It's happened. I've seen it happen. Okay? So you have to be the man in the house. But first you have to be a man within yourself before you can ever be a man with a woman. Women are screaming and crying and begging for dominant male leaders. Why do you think they're passing all these laws to protect them from men, from outside issues or problems? Because they don't feel protected, because they don't feel the strength of men anymore. They feel as though they have to protect themselves. So they're pushing for all these laws that give them power over population or the men. They don't want power. They don't want power. They want men to stand up and be men. Why is this any different to women pushing to pass laws? And by the way, who's passing those laws? Men are, because men still dominate politics, okay? So they are being swayed by the constant pressure of women, just like a man is when he's in his house with his wife and she's constantly pushing for something. Oh, would you help me with the dishes? Every night she wants you to help with the dishes. Well, if you help me with the dishes, I'll make a special night for you in the bedroom. So finally you give in. You give in enough, and guess what? She's running the household. And guess what? She runs it right into the ground. Women are not leaders. Now, that's not to say there are not a small percentage of women out there who can lead. There are, but it's rare. It's like in war. What is it? 1.7% of women actually fight in combat. I would probably beg to say that it's less than that. Okay, who's the other 90 98.3% men. So if we have to rely on women to protect us, we're in trouble, okay? We are in big trouble. They're just not made for that. Now, does that mean they're less than men? No. They have their attributes and their skills and their specialties that they are born with, that are inherent within them, just like us men do. But it's not fighting, it's not being on combat, it's not being masculine. As I said, there are a few of them out there that are masculine, okay? But it's rare. It's not their inherent trait, or they're not evolutionarily designed for that. Men are. But as men, in my society, in the U.S., we are being shamed for being masculine. Toxic masculinity. Well, if it wasn't for toxic masculinity, our borders would have been invaded long ago. We may have been speaking German today and had Adolf Hitler leading us. Well, he probably would have died by now, but you get the point, okay? All the Jewish people in the world would be dead because we would have allowed Hitler to kill them all. I mean, is that what we want? No, of course that's not what we want. I mean, I think, 75 million people died during World War II as a result of Hitler's idea of whatever it was he wanted, white supremacy or Nazi supremacy or whatever he called it. I'm not sure. Got to be careful how I say things here. Everyone in the United States is so offended so easily. And that's another thing. Why are we as men being offended by things people say or think? I could care less what you call me. Doesn't make any difference to me. Now, if I'm with my woman and you call her something, that's a different deal. Because as a man, a masculine man, I am here to protect and provide for my woman. That is my way of serving her. And in return, she is here to serve me by taking care of me, taking care of my house, taking care of my children, raising the children. These are roles that have been for hundreds of thousands of years. And we think we're going to change them with 60 years of women's liberation? I don't think so. It just doesn't work that way. And people get angry when men talk about being masculine men. The only reason we are a free country today is because of all the masculine men, and many of them very toxic, as they would use the term today. They killed men, women, and children, innocent men, women, and children. In the last 10 years, the men, the leaders of our country, have been responsible for killing innocent men, women, and children. That's called collateral damage in war. Do I think that's right? No. Do I think it's wrong? I don't know. Right and wrong is determined by which side of the fence you stand on. You would say it was wrong, as well as I would, unless it kept the opposing forces from coming and raping and killing our women and children and killing us. Then you might think it's correct, okay? But you don't have to make those decisions. Your leaders do. So the next time you're bad-mouthing the president or anybody in government, stop and ask yourself, would you want to have to go to bed every night with that on your conscience? I wouldn't. I have no admiration for people who have to make those decisions. That's a tough thing to live with. In a war or in a situation, yes, I could kill people, and I could kill innocent men, women, and children if I had to. Now, living with that would be difficult for me because I don't like the idea of killing anybody or anything. But if need be to protect my kids or my family, I could do it. And as a man, you should be able to do it too. Now, some people may think, oh, that's terrible. How could you advocate such things? Well, these things go on in the world every day, all over the world. I don't know how many people are murdered in the United States every day by someone who believes that it was the right thing to do. He may be a criminal, but in his mind, it's correct. Now, if you were on the other side of that as a man, let's say you were sleeping in your home at night And that criminal who thinks it's okay to kill you and your family to get your whatever, your goods, your money, whatever he wants, take your wife, rape her, kill her, you better be man enough to stand up and stand against that criminal. Now, that is your job as a man. And you can't do that if you're weak and sickly, or you have no fortitude within yourself or no strength within yourself. You have got to be enough of a man to get up and risk your life to protect your family from things like this. These things happen in this world today. I don't believe we live in a dangerous world. Now, that sounds contradictory, I know, but these things happen. These things have always happened. And you better be man enough to stand up to that. Otherwise, your woman is not going to trust you. Probably will never happen, but could you handle it? Would you get up out of bed, walk downstairs, and confront the criminal, knowing you may die? If you're a man, you do that willingly. I have put myself in between the perpetrator, the criminal, the killer, and my woman. I've done it more than once. I've lived in foreign countries where it's not quite as safe as it is here. You better be a man. You better be able to stand up. You better be able to fight. That's just the bottom line truth of it. Okay, so it's okay to be a man. It's okay to be masculine. It's okay to get into a fight. I'm not advocating it, but I'm telling you, it's good to know that you can fight if you need to, that you can kill if you need to kill. I'm not advocating killing, once again, no more than I advocate war, but these are things that are realities in our world today. I don't deny reality, although I believe you can create your own reality. So remember, be proud of being a man. Many men have gone before you and fought for you and died for you so you could have this privilege to live today. So live your life to the fullest as a man. If you are a man and you desire to be a masculine man, it's okay. Be proud of that. Have a great day. If you'd like to get my help personally, marksinspirationalguidance@gmail.com. See ya.